reached the other side of my future heel flap. This is the last heel flap stitch, and this is the pair of stitches that I wish to wrap. So I'm going to borrow with yarns behind, borrow with yarns in front, and I'm going to take the yarns around those stitches and return the borrowed stitches so that the yarn remains wrapped around their throats. And now I'm about to set out on my row across the heel flap, and it begins with a slip with both yarns behind, then there's a slip with both yarns in front, and off we go across the heel flap. I've got 2 pairs of stitches to go here, so I'm going to knit and purl, knit and purl, making sure that it doesn't wind up twisted. And that's my final pair of stitches on the heel flap. There are my 2 wrapped stitches. These will be neatened as we knit up the stitches up the side of the heel flap and across the instep stitches. At the end of each heel flap row, after the first 2, we turn the work around and we slip the first pair. So slip with both yarns behind, slip with both yarns in front, and off we go as usual. So every heel flap row now will be beginning with a slipped pair of stitches. Everything else is worked in pattern. One additional point to remember is that when turning the work and going the other way on the heel flap, I'm deliberately not twisting the yarns around one another the way you would if you were trying to close the sides of a scarf. So I'm making sure they don't lock around one another, and I slip, bring the yarns between and slip, but they're not linked at the edge. This makes it easier when we come to knit up our heel flap stitches. Because of the stripe pattern, they will be linked between the first stitch and the second. The yarns will change sides, but the outer edge stitch, the chain selvage, is going to be open, which will make it easier later. Continue working heel flap rows for the given number, so it should be a bit longer than a usual heel flap,